Dutch colonial town, later known as Albany, New York, there lived a baker, Van Amsterdam, who was as honest as he could be.
Each morning, he checked and balanced his scales, and he took great care to give his customers exactly what they paid for, not more and not less.
Van Amsterdam's shop was always busy because people trusted him and because he was a good baker as well. And never was the shop busier than in the days before December 6, when the Dutch celebrate St. Nicholas Day.
At the time of year, people flocked to the bakery shop to buy his fine St. Nicholas cookies.
It's St. Nicholas Day! It's St. Nicholas Day! Made of gingerbread, ice, and red and white, they look just like St. Nicholas as the Dutch know him.
Tall and thin with a high red bishop's cap and a long red bishop's clock.
One St. Nicholas Day morning, the baker was just ready for business when the door of his shop flew open.
And walked an old woman wrapped in a long black shawl.
I have come for a dozen of your St. Nicholas cookies.
Taking a tray, Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies. He started to wrap them, but the woman reached out and stopped him.
I asked for a dozen. You have given me only 12.
Madam, everyone knows that it's 12.
But I say a dozen is for 13. Give me one more.
Van Amsterdam was not a man to bear foolishness.
Madam, my customer did exactly what they paid for. Not more and not less.
Then you may keep the cookies.
She turned to go, but stopped at the door.
One Amsterdam, how honest you may be. Your heart is small, and your fist is tight. Fall again, mount again. Learn how to sound again.
Then she was gone.
She was gone. From that day, everything went wrong in Van Amsterdam bakery.
His bread rose too high or not at all.
His pies were sour or too sweet.
His cakes crumbled or were chewy.
His cookies were burnt or doughy.
His customers soon noticed the difference. Before long, most of them were going to other bakers.
That old woman has bewitched me. Is this how honesty is rewarded?
A year passed.
The baker grew poorer and poorer.
Since he sold little, he baked little, and his shelves were nearly bare. His last few customers slipped away.
Slipped away! Finally, on the day before St. Nicholas Day, not one customer came to Van Amsterdam's shop.
At day's end, the baker sat alone, staring at his unsold St. Nicholas cookies.
I wish St. Nicholas could help me now.
Then he closed his shop and went sadly to bed.
That night, the baker had a dream. He was a boy again who wanted a crowd of happy children.
Yay!
And there in the midst of them was St. Nicholas himself.
The bishop's white horse stood beside him, its baskets filled with gifts. Nicholas pulled out one gift after another and handed them to the children.
But Van Amsterdam noticed something strange. No matter how many presents Nicholas passed out, there were always more to give.
In fact, the more he took from the baskets, the more they seemed to hold.
Then Nicholas handed a gift to Van Amsterdam. It was one of the bakery-owned St. Nicholas cookies.
Van Amsterdam looked up to thank him. But it was no longer St. Nicholas standing there.
Smiling down at him was the old woman with the long black shawl.
Van Amsterdam awoke in the start. Moonlight shone through the half-closed shutters as he lay there to thank him.
I always give my customer exactly what they pay for. Not more and not less. But why not give more?
The next morning, St. Nicholas Day, the baker rose early.
He mixed his gingerbread dough and rolled it up.
He molded the shapes and baked them.
He iced them in red and white to look just like St. Nicholas.
And the cookies were as fine as any he had made.
Van Amsterdam had just finished when the door flew open. In walked the old woman with a long black shawl.
I have come for a dozen of your St. Nicholas cookies.
In great excitement,
Yes!
Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies.
And one more.
In this shop, from now on, a dozen straight in.
You have learned to count well. You will surely be rewarded.
She paid for the cookies and started out. But as the door swung shut, the baker's eyes seemed to play a trick on him.
He thought he glimpsed the tail end of a long red clock.
As the old woman foretold, Van Amsterdam was rewarded. When people heard he counted 13 as a dozen, he had more customers than ever.
In fact, Van Amsterdam became so wealthy that the other bakers in town began doing the same.
From there, the practice spread to to other towns and at last to all the American colonized.
And this, they say, is how 13 became the baker's dozen.
A custom common for over a century.
And alive in some places to this day.
The
Baker's Dozen, a St. Nicholas tale, told by Aaron Shepard. Jingle bells rock. Jingle bells ring and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bells rock. Jingle bells ring and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun.
Narrator 1, Narrator 2, Narrator 3, Narrator 4, Woman,
Baker.
The Baker's Dozen.
A St. Nicholas tale, told by Aaron Shepard.
In the Dutch colonial town later known as Albany, New York, there lived a baker,
Van Amsterdam.
who was as honest as he could be.
Each morning, he checked and balanced his skills, and he took great care to give his customer exactly what they paid for.
Not more and not less.
Van Amsterdam's shop was always busy because people trusted him and because he was a good baker as well. And never was the shop busier than in the days before December 6th, when the Dutch celebrate
St. Nicholas Day. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
At that time of the year, people flocked to the baker shop to buy his fine St. Nicholas cookies.
St. Nicholas cookies,
St. Nicholas cookies.
made of gingerbread, ice, and red and white, they look just like St. Nicholas, as the Dutch know him.
Tall and thin, with a high red bishop's cap and a long red bishop's clock. One St. Nicholas Day morning, the baker was just ready for business when the door of his shop flew open. And walked an old woman, wrapped in a long black shawl. I have come for a dozen of your St. Nicholas cookies.
Taking a tray, Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies. He started to wrap them, but the woman reached out and stopped him.
Wait! I asked for a dozen. You have given me only 12.
Madam, everyone knows that a dozen is 12.
But I say a dozen is 13. Give me one more. Van Amsterdam was not a man to bear foolishness.
Foolishness?
Foolishness!
Madam, my customer got exactly what you pay for.
Not more, not less. Then you may keep the cookies. She turned to go but stopped at the door. Van Amsterdam, however, honest you may be, your heart is small and your fist is tight.
Fall again.
Mount again, learn how to count again. Then she was gone.
From that day, everything went wrong in Van Amsterdam's bakery.
What's happening? What's happening? His bread rose too high or not at all. His pies were sour or too sweet. His cakes crumbled or were chewy.
His cookies were burnt or doughy.
His customers soon noticed the difference. Before long, most of them were going to other bakers.
That old woman has bewitched me. Is this how my aunt is rewarded?
A year passed. The baker grew poorer and poorer. Since he sold little, he baked little, and his shelves were nearly bare. His last few customers slipped away.
Finally, on the day before St. Nicholas Day, not one customer came to Van Amsterdam's shop.
So sad, so sad. At day's end, the baker sat alone, staring at his unsold St. Nicholas cookies.
I wish St. Nicholas could help me now.
Then he closed his shop and went suddenly to bed.
That night, the baker had a dream. He was a boy again, one in a crowd of happy children. And there, in the midst of them, was Saint Nicholas himself.
The bishop's white horse stood beside him, its baskets filled with gifts. Nicholas pulled out one gift after another and handed them to the children.
But Van Amsterdam noticed something strange. No matter how many presents Nicholas passed out, there were always more to give. In fact, the more he took from the basket, the more they seemed to hold.
Then, Nicholas handed a gift to Van Amsterdam. It was one of the baker's own Saint Nicholas cookies.
Van Amsterdam looked up and thanked him.
Thank you, thank you.
But it was no longer Saint Nicholas standing there.
Smiling down at him was the old woman with the long black shawl. Van Amsterdam awoke with a start. Moonlight shone through the half-closed shutters as he lay there thinking.
I always give my customer exactly what they pay for.
Not more and not less.
But why not give more?
The next morning, Saint Nicholas Day, the baker rose early.
Another day to be happy.
He mixed his gingerbread dough and rolled it out.
He molded the shapes and baked them. He iced them in red and white to look just like Saint Nicholas.
And the cookies were as fine as any he had made.
Van Amsterdam had just finished when the floor flew open and walked the old woman with the long black shawl.
I have come for a dozen of your Saint Nicholas cookies. In great excitement, Van Amsterdam counted out 12 cookies and one more.
In these shops, from now on, a dozen is 13.
You have learned to count well. You will surely be awarded.
She paid for the cookies and started out. But as the door swung shut, the baker's eyes seemed to play a trick on him.
He thought he glimpsed the tail end of a long red cloth.
As the old woman foretold, Van Amsterdam was rewarded. When people heard counted 13 as a dozen, he had more customers than ever. In fact, Van Amsterdam grew so wealthy that the other bakers in town began doing the same.
From there, the practice spread to other towns and at last through all the American colonies.
And this, they say, is how 13 became the baker's dozen.
Bakers,
Baker's dozen.
a customer common for over a century, and alive in some places to this day.
The baker's dozen.
A Saint Nicholas tale, told by Gerald Shepard. Jingle bells, jingle all the way.